Hi, everybody. It's your old pal, Sarah. And look at this. We're on video now. Whee! Back on video. I even wore a blazer just for you, but don't get used to it. I don't have much to say before we get into calls, but I will say that I was playing Call of Duty last night, of course, with my friends, with Rory and our friends Kelly and Charlotte. And I'm just going to say I tried out my new impression, which is, of course, years too late, but and probably problematic. But I found that I can do Obama, Barack Obama. Don't boo, vote.
Isabella is laughing. I prefer your De Niro. I'd like to show that as well.
My De Niro. First of all, I'm so flattered you like my De Niro. Of course, De Niro is a very common impression. I feel like my De Niro is spot on. I've been told by people who've seen it, it is indeed not spot on, not good at all, in fact, terrible. But I will tell you, from inside my skull, it feels exact. It's not even words, so you're going to have to, you can only enjoy this if you're watching on YouTube. All right, this is my De Niro. Anything? You know, now I can see myself in a monitor and it's not amazing. But inside of me, it feels very good. Don't boo, vote. That was a good one. Good boy. All right, let's take some calls.
You left me a message. Now I'm playing it for the world. Let's hear some voicemail.
Hello, Sarah. This is your old friend Travis. I'm now residing in New York City, but I am in New England. Originally from Maine, and I just wanted to let you know that there was once in existence, I don't think it's existing anymore, a GrapeNuts flavored ice cream by this hometown ice cream shop called Cody's, Cotes, that I can't find anymore. Every time I go back to New England or to Maine, I try and look for it in the grocery stores, and I can't find it. I want you to know that it actually did exist, and it was always my mom and I's favorite ice cream flavor. And I think there needs to be a petition to get Cody's grape nut ice cream back in existence. So that's the first thing. Second thing, you met my husband at the Tony Awards a couple years ago. He was in Sweeney Todd.
Oh my God.
He saw you and he was like, LeBlanc Duty is my favorite song. And you said something like, oh, that's awful.
No, I'm sure I said
it's a
awesome.
really fun story that we love to bring up every once in a while. Anyway, that's it. I love you, and I hope you're doing well. And you're such an inspiration. Keep doing what you're doing.
First of all, I just looked that up, Cody's GrapeNuts ice cream, and it did come up. And then there's also videos with instructions on how to make it. So maybe it's just like, add GrapeNuts to your favorite vanilla ice cream or something. But it sounds incredible, though. Oh, I love like a nutty, slight nod to health dessert. But I mean, I hate to ruin this, and it would definitely be more sardonic if I said, oh, that's awful. But I am sure I said awesome because I love that song. My sister Laura wrote that song, and we sang it in the episode Duty of the Sarah Silverman program, R.I.P. All right, what else?
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time. Don't boo, vote.
Hey, Sarah. This is Kevin Curry calling from Oceanside, California. I just want to take a second to say that I really love what you're doing with your time these days, and you're just a joy as a human being.
Oh.
I'm calling because I'm having a bit of a hard time with what is happening in our country and what it's doing to the world. And I guess what I'm asking is, I've gotten to the point where I'm going to some rallies and like really peaceful, nonviolent protests and feeling like I have a voice when it kind of feels like we're up against this major opposition. And it's been therapeutic. It's been good. I've met some great people. But I guess I'm calling because I'm having a hard time finding a balance of getting too invested in what's happening in politics. And it gets to the point where it feels like maybe it's not healthy for me. And I'm kind of just spinning, you know? So what do you do when you need to take a break from it? Or just what helps you strike what you would say is a healthy balance between caring and then having some time away from it? Let me know what you think. Yeah, thanks.
Kevin, I hear you loud and clear. I am struggling too. It's fucking finding the balance between your heart just tearing to shreds with the like bombardment of every new right that's being taken away on the daily, funding for the needs of so many people just being dropped, putting people of color, women, trans people, the LGBTQAI++ people, everyone that isn't a straight white man are getting their rights chipped away. And it's just shocking and seemingly illegal. And all of it comes from ego, from toxic masculinity, from vindictiveness. Essentially, you know, our laws are being made by straight white incels with micro penises, and it's really scary. And they're vindictive, and they want you to know it. This is a fucking heist. And yeah, protest this shit. At the very least, you're finding community. You're learning that this is not just me. There's a lot of us out here, and not consuming his content and not giving these scumbags our health, but also not ignoring it, you know, and doing something. It's just a very hard balance, you know. And again, I believe that the answer is going to be community, you know, will be the realization that we are here to take care of each other. And we don't need anyone's permission to do that. For us to say, you want to come for trans people, you're going to have to come through me. You know, I saw Cory Booker speaking at a town hall, and that's what he said. And he has walked the walk with that before, you know, when he was mayor, or maybe even before he was mayor of Newark. He moved into, first of all, he moved into the projects. He moved into public housing for 2 years until they fixed it. He just lived there. Then he moved into like a Winnebago part. He's a huge guy. He had a football scholarship to Stanford, you know. He just parked it on the biggest drug dealing corner in Newark and lived there. Said, you want to deal drugs? Do it in front of me. See how that goes. Boy, I love him. And this is what he said. He said, you want to come for trans folk? You're going to come through me. And I think that's what we all have to say. You know? But fuck. But also, run towards joy wherever you see it, wherever you find it. You know, rest when you need it. Be ready for the long haul, but also protect your resilience with breaks to do absolutely fucking nothing, Call of Duty. You know, this is a group effort. This needs to be tag team shit because we won't be able to endure it all if we don't take breaks. But, you know, I fucking love this country. I don't want to live anywhere else. And it's really heartbreaking seeing it fall. So I get it. And that's all I got. Here's some ads. Article, everybody. All right, you guys know I love Article. They make it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price. That sounds like an ad, and this is an ad, full disclosure, but it really is true. Article takes great care in curating its collection, focusing solely on high-quality, meaningful pieces that will stand the test of time. I really agree with this. There is no filler. Every item is chosen for its craftsmanship, its design, its lasting value. You all know I love Article. I love my globe lamp. The light it emits feels like moonlight. It's so pretty. I find it flattering on my face, too. My living room chairs, Tess, Amy, you've sat in them many a time. They're so comfortable and they're gorgeous. They're like teal with like a brown walnut wooden bottom, and I've had them since I moved into my house, and I get compliments on them still all the time. And also this is getting too long, sorry. I have a queen bed frame in my guest room, which I'm obsessed with. It's like a mid-century, and it has built-in side tables, and it's just beautiful. I love Article. There you go. Article offers very affordable shipping across the U.S. and Canada with options for professional assembly, which I always get because I'm not good at assembling. And they are. And they do it. And they're so nice. I mean, I know I'm famous, but they really do it for everybody. With Article's 30-day satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence. Just know that if you are not completely in love with your new furniture, you can return it easily. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/Sarah, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/Sarah for $50 off your first purchase of just $100 or more. And we're back.
Hi, Sarah. It's Dustin from Baltimore. I'm calling in because someone called in saying that they were having trouble finding a therapist. They'd been to 3. It wasn't working out. I just wanted to echo what you were saying. I have a great therapist. I had a great one when I was living in Chicago. I moved to Baltimore. This is the 4th therapist I've worked with in Baltimore, and it took going through 3 other ones to find him. Maybe that person who's gone through 3, maybe the 4th one's going to be the right one.
Yeah.
You have to shop around. You have to find what's going to work for you. They also mentioned having friends who were therapists that they couldn't imagine being therapists. I have friends who are therapists that I wouldn't let watch my cat while I was out of town, but they might be great at what they do.
It's true.
You know, not every therapist is right for every person. My therapist is great for queer guy with PTSD, but he might not be great for straight woman with postpartum depression. It's all about what they're good with and who they're who they're working with. And something that I learned in therapy is that this isn't like with teachers or doctors. They aren't observing each other. Unless someone writes a book, you know, therapy really happens in a vacuum. Because of various laws, you don't really know what other therapists are doing. So it's really worth seeing what's out there and going in saying to a therapist, I want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm taking medication. I don't want to take medication. I like this. I don't like this. And setting your expectations up with what you want to get out of therapy. And don't give up. Keep looking for the right one. It can be life-changing.
Oh, Dustin, I agree. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. I mean, it's become a lot more affordable now in different ways, different mediums of therapy, and you're going to find one that fits. You just have to find one that fits. That's all, you know? And you're right about therapists working in a vacuum, but therapists see therapists. My best friend Heidi is a therapist, and we go to the same therapist. But you know, therapists do see a therapist. That might even be like a protocol or something. But yeah, Heidi, I've known since I was 19. We'd like smoke weed and hang out in Sheep's Meadow together, and you know. But I believe she's an amazing therapist. Yeah, thank you for calling in for that encouragement for the caller. What else?
Hey Sarah, Alexander here, a fan from Croatia, who keeps falling in love too hard. Which brings me to my issue. Recently, I fell for a girl who, in her own words, does not fall in love. She knew my feelings, but we remain friends. This fed into my hope that love made it bloom, and so I gave it my all to make her happy. But eventually, she ended up treating me for the worse and went for my friend, who, later on, turned out to be quite the pity seeking actor and pathological liar, with a hatred for everything non Christian. Yet no one believed me that he's bad for her. I'm just jealous, they said. Both of them used to sit, eat, and drink at my table, and for both I did favors and bought presents. And they thanked me like this, and by running a slander campaign against me. So I quit college and almost took my life because of this betrayal. Though done with pills, therapy, and talks with my friends and family, I would still like to hear your advice on how to move on despite the injustice and desire to take the proverbial eye for an eye. P.S. You are my first celebrity crush since I saw you on Star Trek. Much love from Pula, Croatia.
Oh, Alexander, thank you for calling in. I'm going to give you some tough love. No matter how much you are in love with someone, it is not their job to love you back. It is not incumbent on them to be in love with you back. To love someone or to not love someone is of your own free will. That's how that works. So you might be positive that you're the right person for her, but kid, I'm sorry, that is not a decision you get to make. And I wonder if the fact that she doesn't feel the same way has caused you to maybe fixate on her in this way. Because, you should be with someone that adores you, and she's not that person. She's just not. You can't make her that person. Also, I believe that you should really never give someone presents so that they will love you or like you more. I think that's a mistake. Or because you want anything from them in return. That is not the reason to gift anyone anything or to give them presents. Not to curry favor. For no reason that is aspirational should you be giving someone presents. That's not what gifts are for. Gifts are for people who already love you. Or that you give because you want to and you expect nothing in return. The second you expect something in return, it's problematic. And it's not healthy for you. We so often give our best selves to people who do not love us. And we disregard the people who do love us and care for us. That's ego stuff. So, try seeing the absolute gifts that are in front of you, that want to be there, that love you, that care for you, and do not spend time on people who don't have those feelings. It sounds simple. I know it's harder than that. But what you really have to do is learn how to like yourself, love yourself with all your flaws, any of that shit. And it makes the world a better place for you if you do that. But good luck. Please stop pursuing this woman. She doesn't want you to. That's the gift you should give her. Leave her alone. Okay? I'm sorry. But I'm glad you called in, and I hope this helps. I know it's tough love, but there you go. You're going to be much happier if you can let go of this and go towards those that love you and care for you. All right, what else?
Hey, Sarah, this is Andrea, and I'm a few weeks behind listening, so I'm just catching up with the advice you had given about a caller staying connected to loved ones who have died. And I loved what you said about emailing your unalive parents about braggy kind of things. That makes so much sense. But for me, what I really miss talking to my unalive fiance about is the everyday bullshit. What I ate for lunch, random gossip, whatever I just binge watched. So every single night I recap my day to him, boring as it may be. But the trick is that I have to say it all out loud. In my case, directly to him in his urn that sits in our bedroom. And then I tell him my plans for the next day, again, boring and out loud and right before bed. And if I'm away and I don't get to do it, it feels weirdly unsettling. So I am so happy when I can get the conversation going again. So that may work for your call or anyone else. Just thought I'd share. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, I think that's great. That's just beautiful. And I'm glad that works for you. And whether you say it out loud, and I like that you kind of push through and say it out loud. There's something about speaking out loud when you're alone that feels awkward and is just so powerful if you can push past it, you know. And or if, like me, you write it down, you know, I think it's very helpful, and I'm glad that it's helpful for you too. Beautiful. What else?
Hi, Sarah. This is your best friend, Courtney, and voice twin, calling from New Jersey. I called in about 6 months ago or so about my friend who is anti-abortion, or you had better phrase it as anti-choice, and how I was kind of struggling with, we've been friends for a long time and struggling with how to explain to her that, you know, I can't really be friends with someone that doesn't agree that women should have body autonomy. And you gave me some really great advice to kind of like talk to her about, you know, being anti-choice versus anti-abortion. And I didn't actually talk to her because I just decided she lives in another state and we could just kind of like maybe phase out our friendship. But for my birthday, she sent me this like really nice necklace, and I kind of felt a little weird about it because I kind of just want to phase out the friendship. But she sent me this really beautiful necklace for my birthday. And now I'm kind of like at this crossroads again, like, what do I do? Do I send her a gift, which I obviously don't want to? It kind of complicated things. Just wondering if you had any other advice and to follow up with your last great advice. And also, we just saw you in Montclair, me and my friends, and we love you so much. You were amazing.
That was a great show. Oh, that's it. Look, with the necklace, you know, you can return it. You can thank her and tell her you love it. You do not have to get her a present back. You know, you don't give people gifts so that they get you gifts. I believe that really is not people's intention when they get you a gift, other than a previous caller. But you know, if she's testing you, then you're gonna fail the test. That's, you know, I don't like being tested by people. I'm personally terrible with gifts. I don't like getting them. I don't like giving them. It's not that I don't like giving them. Look, I understand that that's some people's love language. I have friends, gifts are their love language, and they give me gifts, and it used to stress me out so much. But what I realized is they love giving gifts. That's their love language. My love language is different, and they get that from me. But I'm not someone who goes out and buys a candle for someone, you know? Unless I see something that's like, oh, this is so perfect for X, Y, or Z, and then I'll get it, you know? Like, yeah, but I'm just personally not a fan of having more stuff. But anyway, you know, go with what you feel. You owe her nothing. You don't have to be friends with her, but you also can be friends with her. You know, if you have any inkling to maintain a friendship, if it's hurting you to not maintain this friendship, have it. You don't have to have the same thoughts. It's very hard with this. I know. I'm having similar struggles, but sometimes you stay friends with someone who thinks very differently, and your love, loving them anyway, opens them up to be changed, you know? My sister is very close with a very conservative, Orthodox Jewish woman. My sister's a very reform, liberal Jewish woman. And she just loves her to pieces, my sister. My sister loves everybody. And this woman it was my nephew Zamir's bar mitzvah, and I went there to Israel for it, and she picked me up, her friend, and I was doing a show there too, and I remember she was like, "Is your show gonna be dirty?" And I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a 2-wig show for you," because she wears the wig, the whole thing. But she's funny, and she said to me, she goes, "Your sister loving me, even though we're so different, has changed me." And I think that can be a really beautiful thing. But if you are not feeling this friendship anymore, you've grown past it, you are totally bummed by her anti-woman ideology. I remember Rory saying, like, why would women vote for this? Or like women politicians vote for this stuff? It's like, because people vote against their own interest all the time, and there's, I don't know what it is, if it's self-hatred, if it's I don't know what it is, but it happens. We know this happens all the time. Like Trump's base is getting pummeled by everything he's doing right now. And some are disenchanted, and that's great because it becomes kind of all of us against the kleptocracy, whatever, fascism. But some are just like ride or die with him, no matter what he does to them. And he knows it. Anyway, there you go. Maybe that jumble of words will help you. Maybe not, but good luck. What else?
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you for reminding me that all the trauma in my life is actually making me a funnier person. So I can just be grateful the next time something fucked up happens. Here is my latest struggle, Mayim Kampf. My partner of 6 years has recently come out as bisexual. He wants to open our relationship. He wants to explore what it's like being with a man. As his best friend, I'm so proud of him and I support him, and I want him to be his true, authentic self. As his romantic partner, this is challenging. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot, see what it's like, but I'm very worried that I won't be able to come around. And I love him so much. He's my best friend. We share a home together. We share a dog together. And we've shared the last 6 years of our lives together. So would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks, girl.
Listen, I'm hearing this happening a lot. And I believe it's a positive thing because I think a man in that position previous to like now, a lot of times would just stay in the closet about it and repress, and that's no good for a relationship or happiness. But it becomes tricky. But thank God he was vulnerable. He opened up to you. He told you, he shared with you his truth, and give it a whirl, and it will either work for you or it won't work for you, or he'll realize he's more into men, or he'll realize, at least now you guys are going to get the test tubes out and figure out what works for y'all. And maybe you'll end up being best friends and you'll move on romantically to someone else. Or maybe this is going to be just the ticket for both of you. Maybe it's hot. Maybe it's not. Maybe you'll be in a throuple. Who knows what the future... None of us can predict the future. And it's human nature to be afraid of the unknown. And ideally, we want to try to learn to be on the edge of our seat instead of fear and paralysis on what is going to happen next. We just don't know in our lives, So be on the edge of your seat and check in with yourself and how you feel and how it's going and what you like and what you don't like, and he should do the same, and you'll figure this out for yourselves and for each other. And the great news is the truth is out. If it's mentionable, it's manageable. So you're going to figure it out. All right. Let me know what happens.
Here's some ads.
Jubilee TV. Well, unless your parent is some kind of unicorn or tech genius, chances are you've had to play tech support for them. It can be frustrating, I'm sure, for both of you to have to fix or explain every little thing about their TV. Fortunately, you can support their independence and your peace of mind with Jubilee TV. This is very interesting. Jubilee TV connects your loved one's TV to your phone, so you can fix tech issues, you can switch channels, you can switch them off of Fox News. You can stay connected from anywhere. Jubilee TV makes sure that time away from your parents does not mean time apart. With Jubilee TV, there is no new tech or apps for older adults to learn. They just use their TV like an old-timey TV. It's familiar, it's accessible, and they even keep their own remote. It helps older adults stay living in their home and supports aging at home independently. I think it's really great. You can monitor activity. You can set important reminders like turning off their TV, taking important medications, or going to appointments. Just all these things that you can do to support their routine, and you just do it from your phone and it goes right onto their TV. I love this idea. You know, aging parents should feel secure. You know, they can use their own tech with ease, with confidence, and you don't have to drive over for every little question. Head to getjubileetv.com, getjubileetv.com, and use code Sarah for $25 off your order. Once again, that's getjubileetv.com, and use code Sarah for $25 off so they know that I sent you.
And we're back.
Hi, Sarah. This is Jeff. I listen to your podcast every week. I'm a 75-year-old guy, and I get a kick out of the advice you give people trying to figure out how to deal with their older parents. I'm blessed. My kids get me. But you had a piece on this week about a young woman who was concerned about her older parents, and you gave her great advice. I'd suggest something I did with my parents, and that's to record them with stories of their childhood, their engagement, their marriage, and they're both gone now, but I listen to it regularly, and it's wonderful to hear their voices. Just thought you might want to pass that on. Keep doing the good work.
Jeff, I don't have to pass that on because you just did. You're on the air. And I think that's brilliant. I mean, listen, I covet that with my dad and my stepmom. I have voicemails every week, voicemails from them. I videoed them all the time. I mean, with my mom who died 10 years ago, I have like 2 videos of her, you know, and I just, it's all I have. And I'm grateful for it. But yeah, totally. Not only that, I believe when you put a camera on your parents, and I think this is helpful when you're not connecting with your parents, when you're having trouble with your relationship with your parents, put a camera on them and ask them questions about their childhood. Ask them questions about their past. Ask them, and by the way, this should be fascinating to you. There's probably so much you don't know about your parents that maybe your parents have never been even in a position to express, to think about. I think only really good things come from that. Because, of course, the more you know about someone, the more you can understand them. And it makes them feel a kind of way to have that kind of interest. You know, as people get older, they get more and more invisible, certainly, especially women. And to feel seen is something that is really elicits, I think, good stuff from people. And when people struggle in their relationship with their parents, I just think that could be almost like a skeleton key into them. And we've got cameras right on our phones, all of us. I just think it's only good comes from it. I think it's very interesting. I think there are a lot of revelations that can happen that way too. And the more you find out about your parents, the more you understand about yourself. So there you go. I think that's a great call. I appreciate you, Jeff. And I think he sounds like he's from New England, so I really appreciate you. Sounds very New Hampshire. All right, what else?
Hi, Sarah. This is your best friend, Diana, from Oklahoma. And I just want to say that before your podcast, I thought you were a little vulgar and never really watched your content. But oh my God, I binged your whole podcast. I listened to it every week, and I started watching a lot of all your other stuff. And I have several comments. One, why don't you come to Oklahoma? Is it one of those states that you don't visit? I totally get it. It kind of sucks, but the people, there's some good people around here.
Hell yeah.
Second of all, I also have misophonia, and today the worst thing happened to me. A coworker came and sat by me to work on something together, and while he did that, he ate a banana.
Oh.
And I did nothing. I said nothing. What would you have done? Because, like I said, I did nothing, and after he left, I just totally spiraled, and I kept thinking about the sounds that he was making. Also, my wife thinks that I should make a shirt because I'm Mexican. I speak Spanish, and she said that I should make a shirt that says, "It's not you, it's my misophonia," which is funny because me means like mine. For example, I would say mi teléfono for my phone. So it's not you, it's misophonia, which I think is hilarious, and I might do that. Anyways, thank you for everything you do. I love listening to you. You're a wonderful person, and I hope to see you one day. Thank you.
Diana, thank you. And I think that T-shirt is an excellent idea. Ooh, a banana. I was thinking an apple is my biggest fear. Oh, an apple right in my ear, like leaning over me, looking at a computer or something, like a coworker. That would be. But a banana is also horrible because you can hear the mixing of saliva in the mouth. And then that sweet smell. Girl, I'm with you. I love that T-shirt idea. It's really, that's tough. I know that's so tough because you don't want to shame anyone or make them feel it's me. It's misophonia. And one of my favorite shows on tour, not this tour, actually 2 tours ago, Thackerville, Oklahoma, which was a makeup show, which is a whole long story. I was in the hospital. I was like on so many drugs. I have no visual memory of it, but one of the first things I wrote, because I couldn't speak, I was intubated, was Thackerville, because I was worried I was missing the show, which of course I had to miss the show because I was basically, anyway, it was a long story. I had emergency throat surgery. We've talked about it before. But I did make up the show, Thackerville, Oklahoma. And it was actually a casino show, which are never like particularly special shows, but it was. I loved it. And I've always wanted to play Oklahoma City too. There's a lot of places I haven't been still. That's not true. I've probably been to most states, but a bunch I haven't. But I have been to Oklahoma and I loved it. Anyway, there you go. Diana, I'm going to come get you there next time I tour. All right, what else?
Hi, Sarah. It's Nathaniel, your old pal. My daughter has an observation she wanted to share with you. She thought you would appreciate this.
My dad does dioramas, and he writes in his diary, and he poops diarrhea.
That's all.
Wow. That's some deep shit. Nathaniel's daughter, great observations. I would say that's beyond alliterative and maybe considered wordplay. And well done, kid. Dad, we are winding down. I miss you. I ache for you. This is a part of the podcast when I say, send me your thoughts, your opinions, your proclamations, your statements, your I don't know what, arguments, whatever you want to say on this podcast to this guy. I'm pointing to myself. Go to speakpipe.com/the Sarah Silverman Podcast. That's speakpipe.com/the Sarah Silverman Podcast. And subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcast. And now would be a wonderful time to subscribe to Lemonada Premium. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button on your Apple Podcast, or for all other podcast apps, head to lemonadapremium.com for bonus content you will not want to miss. That's lemonadapremium.com. Booyah!
Hey! Hi! Hey! Hey, you fucker!